Greetings, fellow detectives. Wizard Kitten here, bringing you a Create a Sim video of all of Nancy's best friends. We are starting with the Hardy Boys, and then we will do Bess and George, and then we will end with Ned Nickerson. So I'm starting here with Joe. I gave him the Friend of the World aspiration, and I made him cheerful, outgoing, and self-assured. Because when I think of Joe, I just think of a really friendly guy who just really wants to do good things in the world. And that's basically Joe for me, so that's why I gave him those traits. I am basing my Joe and Frank Hardy off of their designs in Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon, the 13th mystery in the Nancy Drew series. So in that game, Joe has this blonde hair and darker brown eyebrows, which was kind of interesting. And he has these dark brown eyes. His nose actually was a little bit broader. I eventually think that I got him to look fairly similar to the character in the game. I had to play around a little bit, and I did struggle with his hair color. There's 3 different kinds of blonde hairs in The Sims 4, and I kind of wanted a color that was in between 2 of the blonde colors because neither of them was exactly right, but the really vibrant yellow just didn't look very good, and this blonde one looks more natural, but it's not quite the color that he has in the game. So I was really struggling with that, and playing around with his eyebrows a little bit here, trying to find a good shape. In the game, he and Frank both have very flat eyebrows, so I was trying to get those to work out well, kind of shaping his eyes, his nose. It was so much fun to make the Hardy Boys. I absolutely love the Hardy Boys. I was thinking about going with the most recent iteration of the Hardy Boys that we see, but to be perfectly frank, Frank Hardy, to be perfectly frank, their looks in Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon are easily the best looks that they have in any of the games. Their look in Creature of Kapu Cave, it was just awful, and I hated it. So here's me like trying to figure out the hair again, and he has kind of this long hair that's pushed back, and he has kind of a middle part, so I was really struggling to find a hair that looked good on him. I really don't like the base game hairs in the game because they are just very fake looking, but unfortunately those were the hairs I had to use almost every time for all of the Sims in this little Create a Sim expedition that I went on. So I'm definitely thinking about just giving them my own little makeover after I move them into the town. I'll keep their faces the same and their clothes the same and everything, but I might change their hairs because I really don't like their hairs. And I think I was really struggling with it, so I was trying to find a better one that just looked more normal. This one does look a lot better on him. It's not as similar to the one that he has in the game, but it's so much better. Yeah, just so much better. He's starting to look a lot like Joe now, too. I can definitely see Joe in him. And here, yeah, going back to the hair colors again, I told you I really struggled with this. Tried this hair a little bit too. His hair was definitely the big struggle. Joe had a major hair struggle going on. I could have made him a foodie too, now that I think about it, since he's so obsessed with cheeseburgers. We all know that. I could have easily made him a foodie, but I didn't. I thought the other traits worked out well for him also. We don't see, at least I don't think we see what they're wearing for their pants in Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon, but I decided to give him just some basic jeans. And then I had fun doing the other outfits because I could kind of do my own thing that way. I thought that Joe would have kind of a very comfortable and laid back style. He would just be very easygoing with his clothes, but he would still have a little bit of style to him too. It's hard because a lot of the jeans that I like in this game they have kind of rips in them, and I don't necessarily see any of the characters really having like rips in their jeans. It just doesn't seem like something that they would do very often. I thought this shirt was very Joe. Like, it was a perfect mix of like whimsical with the fun little colors on the sleeves and the pocket, but not over the top. So yeah, I really struggled with the jeans. I wanted to use the ripped ones a lot more, just because I really like how that looks on guys in The Sims 4. But I had to restrain myself a little bit. I ended up doing lots of nice kind of t-shirts and kind of nice little short sleeve button ups. It is spring in the game as well, so I didn't want to have them wearing anything that would be super warm. I wanted to find things that would be good for spring weather, so a little bit cool, a little bit warm, rainy at times. So I definitely was trying to balance that when I was picking their outfits out as well. I wanted to do some kind of like cropped pants at some point. Definitely tried out a lot of options for Joe. Definitely tried out quite a few. Just putting together the different outfits was really fun for them because then you get to do your own thing with them. You aren't limited to trying to make them look exactly as how they looked in the game, which is also fun, but it's even more fun when you get to do your own thing with them. I think this conveys his style pretty well. You guys will have to let me know what you think in the comments for Joe and for all of the characters, really, if you think that the outfits that I gave them kind of is how you would picture them in real life. If they were to have a bunch of different clothes, is this how you would see them as well? Looking at some nice like button-up polos. Again, like the fact that it's unbuttoned makes me think it's very nice and casual. It's something that Joe would wear. He's not super uptight by any means. I think that last outfit with the boots and the like ripped jeans was actually very stylish. I think Joe would have a little bit of style to him too. I think he would have a little bit of fun with that. I loved this suit for him. It was randomized for his 5th outfit when I was like looking at them, but I ended up just loving the cut on Joe, and I thought it was very much something that he would do for a formal outfit. It just looks very it's got some fun color to it. It's not just a plain old boring suit. I thought Joe would go a little more out there with his fashion choices in that sense. For his athletic wear, just a nice comfy sweatshirt, some nice comfy gym shorts, you know, nothing too crazy, just kind of your basics. Hello there, shirtless Joe. How are you today? You're welcome for that. Just some nice pajama pants for him. For his party outfit, oh, he had earrings on. That was random. For his party outfit, again, I wanted to do something kind of fun, and I kind of liked this cardigan for him. It looked really nice with his hair color. I normally don't really like this hair color because it's just kind of fake looking. It looks like a crayon melted on top of his head, like a yellow crayon. But with that cardigan, I think it worked a little bit better. And again, I made him a little bit more stylish. Why does he keep putting on earrings? Joe, what are you thinking? That's not really your style, or at least I don't envision that as your style. For his warm weather outfit, again, wanted to go with something casual and comfortable, but also a little bit fun. I definitely go with a little bit more color for Joe as opposed to Frank. Frank wears more dark colors, more neutrals. Joe gets to have a little bit more fun with his wardrobe. Of the two, Joe I definitely view as kind of the more whimsical brother. He's a little bit more fun. He's a little bit more easygoing. He's not quite as uptight as Frank. Of the two, Frank is probably the one that I connect with the most, just because I'm definitely not quite as free-spirited as Joe. I'm definitely a little bit more reserved, a little bit more thoughtful, whereas Joe is a little bit more outgoing and a little bit more willing to take risks. I appreciate both of those styles, absolutely. But I just connect a little bit more with Frank in that sense. Gave him a nice, just kind of standard cold weather outfit, and then I used the genetics to make his brother. So I wanted them to look similar without being too similar, you know, because they definitely have differences. But their face shapes are actually, if you look at them in Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon, actually quite similar. So for Frank, I gave him a knowledge aspiration. I made him a perfectionist because I definitely see him being hard on himself if he were to get anything wrong. Could absolutely see that. I made him a good sim as well and a bookworm because, again, he's kind of more the cerebral twin. In the books, the Hardy Boys books, they kind of joke around about that a lot, that Frank is kind of the brain and Joe is kind of the brawn. Even though they both do play both of those roles, I think they balance each other nicely in that way. They're definitely a good crime-solving team. I had a little bit of issue with Frank's hair too, because again, he's got this more of a middle part than he does anything else, but all of the nice middle part hairs that I found also came with a man bun. And I don't quite see Frank with a man bun. I feel like he could pull it off, but I don't know that it's something that he would do. It's a little more out there than Frank, I think, would feel comfortable with. His features, again, very similar to Joe's. I just moved them around a little bit. I changed his mouth a little bit because in Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon, he has less defined lips. His lips are a little bit more straight, whereas Joe's has a little bit more of the bump in the upper lip. So I changed it around a little bit. He's definitely smiling a little bit too. Whenever you see him in Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon, when they're sitting there, he's got just this little bit of a smile. He's so handsome. I love Frank. I really wanted to do him justice, and I think I got pretty close. I wish his hair was better, though. And again, I had a similar issue with his hair color, too, because in the game, his hair is like a dark brown, but also black. It's kind of right in between, and I wish I could have done an in-between color, but I decided that the black was probably closer. I had to fill him out a little bit because he randomized super skinny. I feel like he and Joe have pretty similar builds. They're both muscular, but they aren't like super ripped. So for his outfit, this vest was very similar to what he wears in the game, but the colors were not quite right. So I tried out a bunch of different colors to see which one would be closest to what he wears. I think I'd end up going with the red one and not the one that he has on currently. Again, decided to go with some like plain jeans for him, but again, darker colors. I wanted him to be a little bit more reserved. Trying out some different tops here. He was looking a little bit too dark. He had too much of the same thing going on. So I added this little pop of color. I really wish there was some blue in there because that's what he has in the game, but the style was just so close. I try out a few different options. Ooh, I like that sweater on him. I think that was a good look. And I like that on him too. Just those kind of like fashionable sweatshirts. So I think this is his second outfit that I go with. I think I do go back and... Did I go back to the vest in the first outfit? I must have, because that's what he's wearing in the screenshots. Trying some nice cardigan. That dog vest was hilarious. I should have kept that. Going around and looking for some just nice sweaters. I feel like Frank is more likely to wear like some nice cardigans, some nice sweaters, maybe some jean jackets here and there. He's a little bit more subtle with his clothing, but I feel like he's still a little bit fashionable too, you know? I think both of these guys definitely have some style. He almost ends up looking kind of like a motorcycle guy. Like he's really... Ooh, those pants are horrible. Ooh. He almost kind of ends up looking a little bit more like punk rock than I kind of imagined him being. Ooh, I like that sweater on him. That's a flattering cut. That looks good. And do I go with more ripped jeans? Like, again, I feel like ripped jeans just aren't Frank's thing. They're not out there enough. They aren't out there enough for Joe, and they aren't out there enough for Frank. Just darker colors, you know. I think his aesthetic, he really probably thrives in fall and winter. I think those are probably the seasons where he feels like he's the best dressed, and Joe is probably more like a spring and summer kind of guy. They balance each other, kind of like the dark and the light, the brain and the brawn, the thinking and the feeling. They have this really nice balance going on, which I really appreciate in their brotherly relationship. I just felt like that needed a necklace for some reason. Not sure why. And yeah, we did have the vest back for that first outfit. Again, it was kind of fun going and playing around with the other outfits for them. I thought Frank would have kind of a very just kind of dark, very formal outfit with nothing crazy, just very formal, very sleek kind of feeling. He goes with a lot of these darker clothes. Gotta show off those muscles there, Frank. What do I end up giving him? Probably just like something like I gave Joe, just very casual. Ooh, that tank top makes his arms look amazing. Oh, Frank, you're so handsome. So handsome. The Hardy Boys are just wonderful. Oh yeah, that looks good on him too. That's a nice flattering cut. And then just some basic shorts and tennis shoes. Again, who needs a top when they sleep? Not Frank or Joe Hardy. Come on, guys. You gotta have a little bit of fun. And now we're going on to his party look. I really like this jacket for his party look. I really like that black and white one, but I don't think I went with that one because I wanted him to have a little bit more fun with like pattern and stuff. What was I going back and changing? Oh, I was just making sure that I didn't give them the same pants because I didn't want them to have the same outfits or the same clothes at all, because that would be a little bit weird. I don't know. I know sometimes like sisters will share clothes with their sisters and brothers will share clothes with their brothers, but I grew up with just myself and a younger brother and we never shared clothes. So I think, well, for some obvious reasons, there were some things we certainly could that were, that could be worn by both men and women, but you just don't do it as much. So maybe that's why I don't want them to share any clothes. It's just kind of my mindset. Again, checking to make sure that I wasn't giving them the same things. Couldn't quite remember what I had given them. Thought Frank would have this nice kind of just golden jacket, and I like the gold gloves on him too. He actually has a little bit more color there. They turned out pretty well. I think it was tricky to get kind of they have this shadowing in their eyes almost based on how they're sitting in Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon. The light just hits them in a way that their face is in shadow. So that was a little tricky to convey. Couldn't quite get that. Oh, and here's Bess. It looks exactly like her. I actually really like that hair on this particular sim. That looks really good on her. So now we're moving on to Bess and George. Bess, I also made a friend of the world. She is outgoing, she is cheerful, and she is creative, because I think she is a very creative sim, or a creative character, a creative person. She's also a little bit more curvy, so I wanted her to have that really nice hourglass shape, really nice curves. And I did her look based on the Shattered Medallion, which... I mean, Bess and George have had multiple looks throughout the games. They first appeared physically in... Let me think. No, not that one. Phantom of Venice, Hana... Is it Ransom of the Seven Ships? I think that's the first time that they appear physically as Ransom of the Seven Ships. And then they're in Alibi and Ashes. Then they are in the Shattered Medallion. Let me know if I'm missing any. I'm not thinking super hard about it because I also want to talk about what I was doing with her face here. But I based her on her look in the Shattered Medallion, which unfortunately meant that I had to use this hair. I hate this hair. I do not like it at all. I do not think it's flattering. I think it makes her look way younger than she should. She looks like a 14-year-old girl with this kind of hair. There's nothing wrong with using this kind of hairstyle if you're younger, but I feel like for Bess's character, it just makes her look so childish, and she's not childish. She's the same age as Nancy and the same age as George, and I don't want her to come across as like an immature child. I don't want that. So I really wanted to change her hair. For the sake of trying to make her look like Bess in the Shattered Medallion, I keep this hair for her first outfit, and I think I let her use it for a couple outfits, but I do end up changing it in some of her other outfits just because I just do not like how it looks, especially in this game, especially in The Sims 4. It looks so like Barbie plastic kind of thing. It doesn't look like real hair at all. It's a base game hair. They were trying to figure out textures. They were starting at that point. But I do end up liking kind of how her face shape turned out. I do feel like it gets pretty close to how Bess looks in the Shattered Medallion. Of all of the iterations that they have in the game, I feel like my favorite Bess is probably Alibi and Asha's Bess. But since we've seen them so often, I definitely wanted to do them as their most recent iteration, because I feel like that's the most current version we have of them. That's probably the most fresh in everyone's minds. So I went with Shattered Medallion, Bess, and George. I don't know which George is my favorite. Actually, Shattered Medallion George might be my favorite, just because she's got this really athletic build. She's got these awesome muscles that are really cool. And her style it seems like George. She's very athletic. For Bess's fashion here, she in Shattered Medallion wears kind of this very cute athletic wear, just kind of like a cute jacket, these cute leggings. So I definitely wanted to play up with that a little bit. And see, just changing the hair even to that one made her look so much better. She looks really good with this one, but that was the same hair that Deirdre had. I thought about using this one with the bangs for a little while, but I didn't really like how that looked with her face shape. I play around with it a little bit though. Going for Bess's other outfits though was way more fun than just going for her Shattered Medallion outfit, because when I think of Bess, I think of like fashionable, feminine, and fun. She would definitely play around with like lots of pastel colors, lots of fun patterns, just like in this shirt and these pants. I really wanted to have a lot of fun with it, and I loved this shirt on her. It fit her curves really nicely, and just the pastel colors are something that just seemed totally Bess to me. Lots of flowers I wanted to go with. I don't do it for this skirt because that was a little bit too much for pattern. Just really cute sandals, lots of fun stuff. And I think this is where I started to think, yeah, I'm really not a fan of that hair. And the hair I end up giving her, again, that's Deirdre's hair, so I didn't want to do that. The hair I end up giving her that I really liked on her was this one, which I belatedly realized was the the hair that Nancy has. So we'll have to change it again because I don't want her to have the exact same hairstyle as Nancy. But it looks really cute on her. And she is supposed to have kind of like that medium length bob hair. So I will probably look for another outfit like that. I was thinking about doing some like tights or leggings with this outfit, but I decided it didn't quite work. It ruined some of the femininity of it, and Bess is still young. She can do whatever she wants with her skirts. I thought it was just like a really cute flowy outfit. Bess would definitely be someone to wear pretty dresses, pretty skirts, very feminine. Complete opposite of George, really, which is how they're portrayed in the books. She's so happy. I love it. I do like how Bess turned out. I think her face, especially with the better hair, it makes me a lot happier. I think I will, again, for the sake of this video, I wanted to have the one look where she is based off of her character, but for the others, I think I will change her hair up a little bit. This outfit was really fun too for her. I don't get to use that shirt a whole lot because I feel like it doesn't suit a whole lot of Sims, but I think it definitely suits Bess. It's got the fun coloring, and then the cut is just very feminine with like the little peekaboo shoulder. Very cute, very fun. Oh, that hair. Oh, I just do not like it. I thought she would do something very cute and curly for her formal outfit. So in this one, she curled her hair and kind of pinned it up. So, and then I wanted to have fun with a dress for that as well. And this dress from Seasons I hadn't really gotten to use yet. I thought the other dresses were all a little bit too formal, but this one I felt like was just the right amount of formal. It gives Bess a chance to kind of like play around a little bit and be very feminine and glamorous, because I definitely wanted her to feel very glam in this outfit. Bess would be amazing at making herself look glamorous. So I had a lot of fun with that one. I enjoyed giving her this formal outfit. You guys have to let me know what you think, though. I'm very curious to hear your opinions on how my iterations of Bess and Frank and Joe and George and Ned, all of them. I would love to hear your opinions, so please let me know in the comments down below. For her athletic wear, I thought it made sense that she was in a tracksuit. That seems like something that Bess would wear. For her PJs, just, again, cute flowers, pink, pastels, all that fun stuff. We could go with that other, it was either backyard stuff or perfect patio. It was one of the stuffed pack hairs. We could go with either one of those. For her party outfit, this pink dress with the flowers on it from Romantic Garden Stuff Pack, I'm pretty sure, is just so cute on her. And I gave her some like vibrant lips to match the colors in the dress, which is so cute. Love it. For swimwear, I think I give her a hat. And I love this very old-fashioned, well, it's not very old-fashioned, but it's like vintage-inspired swimsuit. So I thought that looked really cute on her. That flat brim hat looked weird. I loved the color in it, but I hate how it's so flat. Like, if you're wearing a big hat, I want it to be floppy. So I ended up switching it to one of the floppy hats. This one from Seasons, I think. In the pink, of course. Of course, of course. And then this cute little overall number matched perfectly, and it's nice and cool for a really hot day. Kind of just like a little romper thing. And it made her curves look amazing. Love it. Yeah, I'm going to have to switch out her hair for almost all of these. Gave her a cute little pom-pom hat. Bess would absolutely wear a pom-pom hat, in my opinion, and her outerwear would be, I feel like she'd have a lot of fun with that too, just like the pretty pastel colors. It reminds me kind of ice cream or sherbet. Very similar. So now we're moving on to lovely George. I wanted to randomize someone that looked a little bit closer to George in Shattered Medallion. I made George active, self-assured, and ambitious. And then her aspiration is bodybuilder. I really wish there were other athletic aspirations besides bodybuilder in The Sims 4, because the bodybuilder aspiration basically means that they have to get super ripped. Like, they have to work out so much that their strength meter is as high as it can possibly go, and then they end up looking really weird. I mean, kudos to anyone that works so hard that they can get their body to look like that, but it's just not very natural looking, and it's not something that I would prefer. So I gave her that aspiration, but I don't think George is going to try and get super buff. I think she'll want to be athletic and fit, but not buff. I thought her traits really worked out well for her too, especially since she has this ambition to do really well on the TV show in the Shattered Medallion. So definitely wanted to go for that kind of thing. Her hair in the Shattered Medallion, she has kind of this short and curly hairstyle, which I think it's nice to have kind of a short-haired person in the game. Definitely fun. Playing around with her features a little bit here just to get her closer to how she looks in the game. Working on her nose a little bit. It's interesting how many of the characters in the games have dark-colored eyes. Almost, I think all of these 4 have like brown or dark eyes. Bess might have like greenish hazel eyes if I remember correctly, or even blue eyes. Now I can't remember what color eyes I gave her, but it's just interesting how many dark colored eyes there are. I wonder if there's a reason for that in the animation. Maybe darker eyes are easier to animate, or maybe they have a little bit more life to them. I don't know. If any of you know, let me know. I'd be curious to find out. I'm gonna take a little sip of water here. Well, we adjust the size of George's head. Very nice, very nice. This is always the trickiest part, is especially since George's character in the Shattered Medallion is always kind of far away. You can't really get a real good sense of her details, so it's tricky. Her hair is a little bit longer. She definitely has more of kind of like a mohawk. Not a mohawk. It's not a mohawk at all. Like more of like a mullet thing, I guess, going. And it's not even really a mullet. It's just her hair is a little bit longer in the back and a little bit shorter in the front. So I wanted to try and do that. And again, she has a more athletic build. She is not quite as curvy or quite as hourglass as Bess. This red tank top looks almost exactly like the one that she wears in the game. And then I wanted to give her some black yoga pants that are also very similar to what she wears in the game, with some nice black and red shoes to match. So this is her first outfit, just purely to make her look like George in the game. In the other ones, I got to play around a little bit more with some of the fun athletic wear that we got in the fitness stuff pack, and just some of the oh yeah, this is from Parenthood, that particular tank top, Spa Day. I didn't like how that one crisscrossed in the back for George. I don't think she would find that very functional. George would definitely be form over function with her style. She would want things that are comfortable, things that she can move around in very easily, things where she could easily be very active. I also, for George, definitely want her to get into rock climbing. With the fitness stuff pack, we got the cool rock climbing wall, and I haven't really utilized it a whole lot, so I think George would be the perfect person to do that. I can absolutely see her really enjoying kind of those like adrenaline activities of rock climbing. I could see her going on lots of hikes, like just all of those kinds of things. I don't think she's super outdoorsy necessarily. I'm sure she doesn't mind the outdoors, but I think she's probably a lot more, she just enjoys those active activities outside. There's just more opportunity for being active in the outdoors. I thought it was nice to get to use some of the more tomboy type clothes as well. Like I could use darker colors on her. I could use the plaid top tied around the waist with those jeans. I'd really like that outfit on her. I think it's very nice. And the baggy t-shirt with the baggy jeans, it's just a little bit more relaxed, which was a lot of fun to do. For her formal, I thought she would go with some lighter colors, but not too light. You know, I wanted her to still maintain her style. I don't think she would really wear heels, so I gave her those flats. She wouldn't find heels very practical. And they're really not. I mean, I can't wear heels at work just in case a student takes off or something, or I have to move very quickly through the hallway. And I don't think George would consider that very practical. So, same kind of deal. It was fun giving her kind of a little bit more fashionable athletic wear too, because I think that's something she would, since she spends so much time being active, I think she would invest in really nice activewear clothes. Gave her just some less feminine pajamas, definitely less feminine than Bess's, just very relaxed. As far as her party look, I kind of wanted just like a cool girl feel. I like these jeans for her, and then as far as her top, I thought about going with this one, but I don't think she would really like show off her midriff as often. So I kind of liked that Parenthood one, but it wasn't quite a good look for her. And then I found this jacket with a wolf on it that I was like, oh yeah, I could totally see George wearing that to a party. Just very, just cool, you know? George is cool. As for her swimwear, she would definitely do kind of like some board shorts and then a very functional tankini top. Hot weather, I could see her wearing athletic clothes. I like wearing athletic clothes in the hot weather too, because they aren't as tight. You can move around in them a little bit easier, and there's a little bit more breeze. It's a little bit more airy. But I gave her a nice tank top too, just to add a little bit of color. And for her outerwear, I wanted to give her something that she could easily go snowboarding or skiing in. I think George is one of those people that no matter what the weather, she will find a way to be active. She will do whatever the activity is. We don't have snowboarding or skiing in The Sims 4, but we do have the ice skating rink, so maybe she'll try some ice skating. That's good fitness. And now we get to make Ned. So Ned has not appeared physically in any of the games, but we do have a drawing of Ned, kind of a 2D representation that we see in Alibi and Ashes. So I based my look for Ned off of that. As far as his traits and everything, I gave him the soulmate aspiration. And then I gave him the active and the good traits as well as family oriented. So we know that Ned is really into sports, but he's not really he doesn't want to be a professional athlete or anything like that. He is really active and he enjoys sports, but I think the thing that's most important to him is really his relationships. Especially his relationship with Nancy. He's just a very caring person and he wants people to be happy. He wants people to be comfortable. He doesn't want anyone to be upset. I think that's very important to him. So I wanted to make sure that his traits reflected that. So again, someone with kind of darker colored eyes. He's got brown eyes in the picture and then he has this darker brown hair. I always kind of picture him with lighter brown hair, but in the Alibi and Ashes picture, he has this dark brown hair. Again, it would be nice for the hair to have something in between the light brown and the dark brown, because the light brown starts to look a little bit orangey, which isn't his hair color, but the dark brown was a little too dark. So tricky with the hairs in this game. I got to do a little bit of my own thing with him just because we don't see him physically and the 2D drawing can only convey so much. So I was definitely playing around with his features to get them to look just right. It took me a little while, and his eyebrows definitely were not working out there. Those eyebrows were quite a bit better. His eyes he has kind of these almond type shaped eyes. They're longer and thinner. So I wanted to make sure that I got his eyes right. I think they were a little more set in to his face, kind of like that in the picture. So I wanted to do that as well. Finding just the right lips for him is also. He definitely has a little bit of a smile. I think Ned turned out very handsome. Do I end up giving him the lighter hair? Yeah, I like the lighter hair better on him. In his little 2D shot, he has a blue t-shirt on. So I found a nice blue t-shirt for him. It's very classic. I think that's kind of his style, is just timeless. Comfortable, classic, and timeless. He wouldn't do anything terribly out there. He would, t-shirts, jeans, shorts, just basic stuff. Nice sweaters, simple things. Simple things for Ned. He lives a simple life. He doesn't live anything too outrageous, which is interesting because he is a good balance for Nancy in that way. Nancy is extremely ambitious and is always out there doing dangerous things, and Ned is kind of that cautious force in her life, reminding her to just, be careful, stay safe, think about your safety. Don't forget to think about your safety, because Nancy often does. She often puts herself into dangerous situations that she maybe could have avoided if she were to think about them a little bit more. So I really appreciate Ned's steadfastness in that, his steadiness. Playing around with some nice shirts. I thought he'd have some nice colors. He wouldn't go super out there, but I think he would have some nice, comfortable, colorful shirts. Classic t-shirts, lots of those. The purple looks good on him. It's always fun to play around with the outfits. And as the seasons go by, we'll definitely make sure that the Sims change their outfits to reflect the seasons even a little bit more. Because as I said, the Let's Play is starting in spring, so they have kind of some springy outfits right now. But as we move into summer, we'll definitely have them mostly in shorts. And as we move into fall, then we'll start to get some sweaters on, bundle up, get those scarves, everything like that. His formal outfit, I actually really like what he was randomized in. I thought that was great for him. I just thought the pants, I don't think he would wear a cropped pants. I don't think he would think that was formal enough, so I gave him just some casual black pants. for his formal look. I wanted to give him something a little bit more casual for his athletic wear as well. For sleepwear, just a, plain t-shirt. Well, not plain. It's got a little bit of design on it, but a nice t-shirt. Just a comfortable one. I love all of those sweaters, and I'm really excited to use them, kind of the bulkier sweaters a little bit more when we get into fall and winter for these Sims. But I think this one looked really nice on him for a party look. It's kind of fashionable, but not too crazy. Could absolutely see him wearing this for a nice little party look. I wanted to give him some nice boots too. These Seasons boots I really like just because they fit so nicely. They're very sleek. I love this shirt, but I feel like it always makes them look so much wider than they are. That movie hangout stuff shirt, it's very nice, and I love the patterns. I just wish it was a little less bulky or a little less baggy, I guess. None of these characters really suit baggy clothes. It's not really their thing, I think. Getting some nice, I think he would have, for his outerwear, a nice poofy jacket. Nice, warm, comfy jacket. And just like a nice plain color. Give him a nice little hat. Keep his earsies warm. It doesn't even cover his ears, actually. It only just sits on the top of his head. I really wish they had earmuffs in Seasons. They didn't add earmuffs, and that would have made me so happy. So now we're just kind of going back, taking a look at these Sims, getting a nice little glimpse of them. You guys have to let me know what you think of them in the comments. They were a lot of fun to make, and I'm really excited to have them in the next Let's Play, my Let's Play for Nancy Drew. And now we are just going to transition into the screenshots here in just a couple of seconds. Hopefully a couple of seconds, so we're sitting on this black screen for a little bit longer than I had intended. Hello? Where are the rest of the screenshots? It got dark. Sorry guys, this is really delayed. This is kind of weird. Apparently they're not here. Are they not here? We have like another minute left in this recording. Well, I guess they're not here. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, fellow detectives. I really appreciate you coming to watch this video. It was so much fun to make. I'm going to sit out a little bit longer because I feel like there's supposed to be pictures here. There's a minute left in this video. Oh my gosh, where did they go? Are they really not here? Oh, there they are. Ah, I knew it. I knew they were here. That's a really long pause, though. Sorry, guys. Sorry it took so long to get to the screenshots. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, fellow detectives. I really hope you enjoyed the making of Nancy's River Heights friends. They will be in the Let's Play, and we'll probably swap over to them every once in a while, just to make sure that they are living the fun lives that they would like to live as well. Let me know what you think of the characters in the comments section down below. I would be very curious to hear your thoughts, or share your creations if you've tried to make these Sims as well. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, fellow detectives, and I will see you soon.